What eventually disappeared and no one noticed? 3D television. Shame in politics. Politicians used to resign in disgrace if caught taking bribes. They ended presidential races when mistakenly becoming overenthusiastic. Bye www. I'm gonna kick open the door to the Oval Office and I'm gonna chop that motherfucking desk in half. Bye www. Fireflies aka lightning bugs. I live rural and I used to see hundreds on a warm summer night. Now I get excited if I see just one. I mentioned it to other people who live in the same area as I do and they were just like, huh. Yeah, you're right. Edit. Lightning bugs. Also, thank you for the awards. I'm a biologist and we categorize fireflies as bioindicators. Meaning if they are a lot in an area, it really says a lot of the environmental quality of that area. They usually thrive in areas where there is less light pollution since bioluminescence is their primary mode of communication. Insert artificial light in the equation and you disrupt their mode. Species interaction. I live in a rural area with a large field across from my house and behind my house. I swear every June we get thousands of fireflies that dance in the fields all night. It's a spectacular show from Mother Nature. I have tried to capture them on video but it doesn't do it justice. Try a long exposure shot? I use an app called Expert Raw on my Galaxy Note that takes some pretty great shots especially at night. Great idea. I have done that before to capture star trails, but never considered it for this. We'll definitely try that this year, smiley face. My favorite illegal streaming websites. Just Google online movies 2023 inches but replace movies with its translation in another language, preferably Eastern European. Oh, and make sure you have an ad blocker. Just search on Yandex instead of Google. They don't give a fuck and you'll find the movie you want on page 1. Also, Yandex reverse image search is scary good and completely beats anything Google or Bing offer. As a crazy example, I randomly searched this magazine cover. https://i.red.it/b4aluk8udz71.jpg closing parenthesis from 1949. Yandex immediately gave me this photo of Ingrid Bergman. https://fromthebygone.files.wordpress.com/2017/03/012-ingrid-bergman-threadlist.jpg closing parenthesis from 1948 in the results which the artist of the magazine cover clearly copied. And the Pinterest plague hasn't completely taken over the results like Google either. Reddit live streams. Remember that guy with a guitar in your feed? He disappeared a long time ago but you didn't even notice it. I also remember a very, very sweaty drummer. Office drummer. He's still crushing on here and Twitch. Toys in cereal boxes. Or glow-in-the-dark lightsaber spoons for each Star Wars movie that came out. I never see swarms of monarch butterflies anymore. It's a combination of a rise in pesticides combined with the absolute dearth of the plants that the butterflies eat on their journey. If you plant monarch butterfly-friendly gardens, you'll actually likely become a stop on their migration patterns because it's so needed. https://a-c-animals.com/blog/what-do-monarch-butterflies-eat/closing square bracket opening parenthesis https://a-c-animals.com/blog/what-do-monarch-butterflies-eat/closing parenthesis. It should also be noted that they lay their eggs on milkweed plants and that's the only plants that nurture and grow their larvae into pupae, and milkweed's been heavily removed from gardens in the wild as we grow our cities and agriculture. By planting a number of monarch butterfly gardens, or honestly, general pollinator gardens, as well as providing a water source like a puddling fountain, a shallow bowl fountain, or some form of water feature in your gardens, you can really help all pollinators, but specifically monarchs, due to your question. I live in Minnesota and we see monarchs from time to time, but when you plant the flowers they eat, you can start to see dozens or more during the migration season as they love those plants. I planted milkweed, and finally last year saw some monarch friends. Then I saw the wasps circling the caterpillars. Stupid ecosystem. No pupae for me. Yeah. Not much to do there. You might be able to grab the caterpillars beforehand and strap a cage around the limb they are on and protect them that way, but ecosystem is going to ecosystem. Hopefully some survive each season. Huge numbers of butterfly larvae never make it to adulthood, and that's fine. It's recommended by conservationists to leave it be. https://xrsees.org/blog/rearing-and-releasing-monarch-butterflies-is-good-conservation-strategy. I realize that article isn't identical to the process you said, but in general providing habitat and native host plants is already exactly the right thing to do. So, ecosystem is going to ecosystem. Indeed. Somewhere along the way 9 to 5 turned into 8 to 5. Yeah, when I hear the song I'm like, wait, did they get paid for lunch? Or just eat at their desks? Or did they actually not work 8 straight hours? They got paid for lunch. The idea was that them being there at lunchtime was because the company paid them to be there the entire time. Companies also used to have company cafeterias that sold decent food at a very reasonable price. Honestly, it's really sad because now a fucking stock of snacks is considered a premium offering, even if you have to pay for the snacks. It started out that the workday included a paid lunch. Then they decided they didn't want to pay for unworked time, but still wanted 8 worked hours a day, so they moved up the starting time. Someone answering the phone at businesses. I have to call doctors' offices daily for work, and there is one that has a, I timed it, nearly 4-minute long opening message. It includes hours, address, with directions, COVID policy and new patient policy. You have to listen to the whole thing before it lets you hit the extension you want. I hate it, I hate it. I hate it. And GT. I have to call doctors' offices daily for work. They should have a direct line. It's kind of silly that they don't. I know it's not something they'd give out for patients, but if you are a vendor, business that deals with them every day, there should be something direct. That's just my 2 cents. I am a doctor. I regularly have to call other doctors with critical test results. I don't get a direct line. I have to sit through the 4-minute message before getting a clueless receptionist. Yes, but you see their menu options have asterisk recently changed. How recently? 1978. But we just need to make sure you know. Call volume is higher than normal. Your call is important to us. Speaking of which, has anybody's menu options not recently changed? Yeah, the same companies that have average or lower than average call volume at any point. Gaming consoles at McDonald's. Or in big markets. In the 90s, I lived in a small town that didn't have any big stores, but there was a bigger town an hour's drive away where we did our shopping that had those. In those stores, they had PlayStations and Nintendo 64s out for you to try out. I remember seeing Mario 64 for the first time there, and after some other kids got bored with it, I got to try it out as well. It was magic. I think the last store console I saw was PS3, and the last one I tried was probably GBA. Kinda surprised I haven't seen this one yet, but Ronald McDonald. You remember the old clown everywhere in and around McDonald's commercials and stores? Gone. Phased out when that clown scare prank trend was going around. He's still chilling on a bench at our local McDonald's. Lazy fucker. TV bumpers. There used to be a little sequence between the show and commercials. Some of them were really interesting and creative. I think my generation remembers the wand IDs on the Disney Channel, where a Disney celeb would use a wand to make the logo. There were also bumpers that were PSAs or other actual content. Edit. Yes, I watched that documentary on YouTube. It's amazing. Everyone go to Defunctland's channel and watch the one on the Disney Channel jingle. Just trust me. Don't look up spoilers. After these messages, we'll be right back. Those rubber bands shaped like things that you wore on your wrists. Silly bands. A common pop culture, in the US, at least. Until at least the 80s, Most people watched the same TV show, saw the same movies, listened to the same music, could recite the same commercial slogans or jingles, bought into the same fads. I don't know when it happened, but now we are all siloed into highly specific subcultures. It was definitely the rise of the internet that really started to divide not just us in the US but all over into subcultures. Or at the very least when it became very noticeable that it started happening. I've heard this referred to as the death of the monoculture. Back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, niche subcultures definitely existed. Think like the goth and punk scenes. But even the goth kids in 2000 knew all the characters of Friends, punk kids in the early 1990s knew about Nirvana, etc. Since the rise of social media, it's been